Hello, a very good afternoon to all from us. This webinar on machine learning is yet another addition to our ongoing webinar series. But before we proceed, may I all request to kindly put your microphones on mute, please. We will be having an open floor for all your queries and suggestions during the end of the webinar. So I would request you to please kindly put your microphones on the mute kindly. I am Amit, leading marketing for Q3 Technologies over the globe. So, as all we know, digital transformation has become the new epicenter of the technology evolution. And now it does not matter whether big or not so. All the organizations are aligning themselves to it. I welcome to all of you from Q3 Technologies to join us. Even in this pandemic situation of COVID-19, AI and machine learning is playing a crucial role in saving the lives and making the things better. AI and machine learning, they are actually truly utilized in making objective and informed recommendations, which is helping to ensure prior arrangement of resources and doing the most efficient allocation, reducing the burden on our healthcare systems and professionals during this time. Now, not taking much of our time and proceeding with this webinar, let me introduce you with our panel of experts. We have Nishit Garg here, Director Engineering. We have Ankur Arya, Tech Lead Data and BI. We have Akash Bawa, Technical Architect. We have Varun Signa with us, heading Sales and Marketing globally. And I am Amit, your host for this webinar, leading marketing. Now, let me invite Varun to set the grounds for this webinar and set up the pace. Over to you, Varun.
Thanks, Amit, for the wonderful introduction and for setting the context. And I thank you all for joining us while sitting in different parts of the world, with most of us working from our homes. Let me start with a brief introduction about us. Q3 Technologies. Q3 was started more than 2 decades ago in 1996 in the US as a software services company. Since then, we have grown to become a niche organization with more than 500 technical and functional experts and 7 offices globally. We have 3 delivery centers in India, which are in Gurgaon, Mumbai, and Jaipur, and sales offices across the US, UK, Australia, and the UAE. The DNA of Q3 is problem solving and designing the right solutions for our customers. That is also our mission and vision statement, to be the leading provider of high end, best of the breed product engineering solutions, and to nurture an environment that fosters a single minded focus on the success of our customers. With this philosophy, we have implemented more than 1,000 successful custom software solutions for our clients globally in the past more than 2 decades of our experience. Our services and solutions are divided into 3 verticals and a horizontal. All the major technologies are part of the technology solutions vertical, like the Microsoft open source mobility solutions, including iOS, Android, and hybrid mobile applications, web applications or web solutions, testing as a service, and data analytics and BI. Our consulting services bring together all the experiences and learnings which we have gained over the past several years in different technologies, domains, business processes, industries, geographies, and so on. So it includes services like business analysis and solutioning, architecture consulting and audits, IT process consulting, etc. About 4 years ago, we started the digital transformation practice. We realized early on that the industry will be going through a radical transformation with the evolution of newer and faster technologies. This led us to start this practice with a team of some of the brightest engineers, and consultants. Here we started working on the latest and greatest technologies and paradigms which the customers are adopting at a very fast pace. For examples, RPA, chatbots, AR, VR, IoT, blockchain, and the focus of today's webinar, which is AI ML. And finally, an independent horizontal of design and user experiences services to develop mockups, visualizations, and designs for our technology solutions. So, coming to the focus of this webinar, AI ML, we are all sitting at our homes among the pandemic situation. COVID-19 has significantly impacted our lives. And in the post COVID world, AI ML will definitely come up as a major technology driving our lives. Technology leaders have been talking about it since a long time about the importance and the huge impact of AI ML it is already having and will continue to have on the humanity. Mr. Stephen Hawking said, success in creating AI would be the biggest event in human history. Unfortunately, it might also be the last unless we learn how to avoid the risks. Tim Cook says what all of us have to do is to make sure we are using AI in a way that is for the benefit of humanity, not to the detriment of humanity. So all the different school of thoughts highlight that AI/ML comes with its own values and risks, and it is important for all of us to understand them carefully while adopting it. Let us now look at the AI/ML industry from some numbers perspective. The outlook of AI/ML is very positive, and the numbers tell that story. As you can see, you can read from the slide. The amount of money invested annually into the AI startups increased from US $4 billion in 2014 to US $27 billion in 2019. As per Forrester, robots and AI will replace 7% of the US jobs by 2025. Gartner predicts that the business value created by AI will reach a staggering close to $4 trillion in just next 2 years. My personal opinion is that these numbers can be much larger now in the post-COVID world. So we all now know that the business opportunity is huge. So let us now understand the nuances of AI/ML.
Wonderful. Thanks, Varun, for setting the grounds and sharing the words of greatest who's who on machine learning and how it's going to do wonders in the future. But aren't we curious that how machine learning shake hand with AI and deep learning, which has made it much more powerful? So, with this tone, I would like to invite Nishit here to share his views.
Thanks, Amit, for the introduction. So let's understand what is the difference between AI ML and the deep learning part. So AI is all about replicating the human intelligence. That is why we call it artificial intelligence. And there are different techniques to replicate that process. So some of the few examples which we have used in our daily life is spam filter. And Gmail is able to successfully filter 99.9%. That is some accuracy, actually. And another example we can take is smart email categorization. Here, Gmail uses a similar approach to categorize your emails into primary and the social and the promotion. Now, if we talk about the machine learning part, this is a subset of AI, which uses the complex stats and to replicate the human intelligence using historical data. So some of the few examples we can talk about is traffic prediction. So we all have been using GPS navigation system. So this navigation system is to manage the traffic and also identify the congestion on the basis of daily commuter experience. So here we are using ML part. And another example we can take is the daily rides which or daily cabs we are using in our day-to-day life. So how to estimate the price of the ride? Something similar also we are using the ML there. And we are also predicting the rider demand on the basis of that. So if we go one level down, we come to the deep learning part. Here, this part talks about the neural networks, something which is very closely aligned to our brain. So different neurons are interconnected and there are different signals are being transmitted over it. So like there are multiple hardware accelerators, which such as GPUs and TPUs, which are used for complex computations. So some of the common use cases we can think of is computer vision. like image classification or the segmentation and the restoration are the few use cases we can think of. Now let's talk about the types of machine learning. So machine learning can be broadly defined into supervised, unsupervised, and the reinforcement learning. So supervised learning is all about the target variable or the output variable. And there are multiple other independent variables. So if we talk about any prediction problem or a regression problem, and we are trying to predict the insurance claim amount for any insurance company, then there can be multiple demographic factors such as family status, education level, income, occupation, age. These are some of the demographic factors which help us in predicting the insurance claim amount. So now let's talk about the unsupervised learning. Here the life is more difficult. Like it's all about target variable where it is not clear. You are not sure about the target variable, and still you want to identify that, and you want to do the ML part. So you have to group homogeneous points in a one cluster and make multiple cluster actually. So one of the common use case is identifying the fake news. So in this, we have a group of all the strings or the textual information, and we have to identify by scanning that whole text by which one is a sensationalized and which one is a clickbait articles. So after the categorization, we will be calculating the probability and we will be identifying which one is a fake and which one is not. Now let's talk about the reinforcement learning part. This part is mainly about the feedback mechanism, or something like if robot is trying to walk, so it takes a big step forward, then it falls. So next time it takes a smaller step and is able to hold a balance. So robot tries a different variation and ultimately learns the right way. So this is about the reward and the punishment which robot is trying to do. And this feedback is considered a reinforcement model, which will ultimately help us in next step. So now my colleague will talk about the ML part in more detail. Thank you.
Great. Aren't we getting curious about the value which machine learning can actually provide to the business? And is it really that simple to implement, like plug and play? What could be the potential challenges which one may face while actually implementing it? Let's have a deep dive into this. I would like to invite here Ankur to share the real world scenarios and his experience on this. Please, Ankur.
Thanks, Amit. Thanks, Nishit, for explaining the whole gamut of artificial intelligence and machine learning in detail. Let's start with one of the fundamental questions which arises in front of any organization, and that is why should an organization adopt or use machine learning technology? Well, the answer to this question lies in the core values which machine learning is capable of to deliver to an organization. Machine learning has the potential to add values exponentially. It has the capability to predict future accurately and enables an organization to invest in present scenario from future perspective. For example, forecasting solutions helps auto companies in inventory management and production because company knows how much sales will likely to be happen in the near future or in the long term. Machine learning has the ability to minimize the human intervention significantly as it learns from the data without being explicitly programmed. For example, a common example of this is the antivirus software, where they learn to filter new threats, detect them, and automatically block them. Another good example is the auto tagging feature of the Facebook, which automatically detects you in the photo and tags you. Machine learning has the capability to identify more complicated trends and patterns very easily. The common example of this type of core value addition is the recommendation system, which currently in the large companies like Amazon, Netflix, these are using recommendation systems very widely. For example, Amazon uses recommendation systems to recommend new products to their existing customers um, from their previous purchase pattern behavior. Netflix recommends movies through the past viewing experience of the customer. Machine learning has the power to handle multi-dimensional and multi-variety data. What means by multi-dimensional? Multi-dimensional data captures the information, for example, consumer demographic informations, which are correlated with the age, employment, address, customer name, transactional information, product details, and each of the parameters represent a dimension. What multivariety means? Multivariety means the data which come from different channels or the different sources. For example, speech data, text data, video streaming data, images data. These algorithms, these machine learning can do this in a dynamic or uncertain environment. Machine machine learning has the power to transform the business. It provides business planning and strategy making easier for any business or organization so that they can take informed decisions. Now let's move on to see what are the challenges. So every technology has some challenges associated to it. So as machine learning, let's understand these challenges in implementation of machine learning through a business use case. Let's say a renowned apparel brand which has two sales channel. One is online and second one is the offline channel, that is the retail stores, and approximately they have their presence in 50,000 retail stores in the country. Now they would like to estimate what is the demand of their products after post COVID-19. So the first phase of any machine learning problem has the discovery phase is the discovery phase. So the discovery phase comprises of the understanding the problem statement. Will the demand forecasting solution is can we build through machine learning or business rules or both? What is the volume of the data that we are getting? Is it in GBs, MBs, or in TBs? What is the variety of data? Is it customer related information? Is it transactional data? Is it product related information? What is the velocity of the data? Whether we are capturing the data at a hourly level, at a day level, or a weekly level, monthly, as well as yearly level. What technology, what methodology should we use? Either should we use supervised learning, unsupervised learning, or reinforcement learning? Whether our demand forecasting solution is capable enough to scalable at some kind of platform. For example, if this company acquires new customers, will the demand forecasting solution will be capturing those consumer sentiments or not? The next phase is the implementation phase, where the actual data mining can happen. So we are collating the data from different channels and different sources and integrate them to a single database. So for integrating a single database, should we use some third-party tools, either SQL Server or Talend? Which third-party ETL tool should we use for the extract, transform, and load? Which machine learning model or approach should be taken care of? Either should we use classification algorithm or should we choose regression problem? So here is the demand forecasting problem. We can choose the regression problem. So how can we, after deploying the model, how can we interpret our model? What are the significant drivers from the model that impact my demand for the near future? How can we optimize this model and how can we do the validation? So these are the major challenges in the implementation phase. The final phase is the evaluation and the analysis phase. Continuous refining of the model is the critical part of any machine learning problem. So we have to fine tune the parameters so that to make an algorithm more accurate, so that our demand forecasting solution can predict the actual demand which is needed for subsequent years. So model should be unbiased. For example, if we take in all the variables, all the parameters to estimate our demand for let's say for the next 1 year, the model should be unbiased. If the model is biased for only for the consumer sentiments, it totally neglects the marketing spends on the particular product as well. Avoiding black box model and explainable AI is programmed to describe its purpose, rational, and decision making process in such a way so that the demand forecasting solution can be understood by any person. Over to you, Amit.
Thank you, Ankur. So, I think it's a high time to invite our expert here to share his views and expertise on actually how to make your machine learning implementation smooth and flawless in the first go. With this, I would like to invite Akash here.
Thanks, Amit. Thanks, Ankur, for explaining the challenges and values in detail. Now, let's see the life cycle of a machine learning project. The first and foremost requirement for any analytics project is basically data. As you can see on the left hand side, and as we have understood now, the data come up from either single source or multiple sources. The data can actually be structured, which means it can be easily labeled like text files, CSV files, etc., and generally resides in RDBMS. Unstructured data is generally data which has no identifiable internal structure, and normally data mining tools aren't required to pass it. Examples are email files, audio files, PDF, etc. Once the data is extracted from multiple sources, it's pushed to data lakes and data warehouses, where wrangling and transformation of the data takes place. Once the extraction and data preparation is done, data then flows into machine learning layer, where ML engine is developed as per the business problem. There are multiple tools used for ML model development like RStudio, PyCharm, Jupyter Notebooks, Azure Studio, RapidMiner, etc. And different modeling techniques like time series, linear and logistic regression, random forest, support vector machines, etc., which we are going to cover in the next slides as well. Once the model is developed, the results generated can further be analyzed and interesting insights can be drawn using visualization tools with the help of variety of charts, reports, and infographics. Intelligence can also be added as applicable. This helps business to understand the detailed results and interpret better. Now, let us understand and deep dive into machine learning here. The first step of machine learning model is data collection, which can be from single or multiple sources. As you can see on left as well, data is flowing in from multiple sources, whether it's ERP system, IoT devices, and mainframes. Once the data is collected, data pre-processing takes place, which involves a sequence of steps like data cleansing, imputation of the missing data, normalization or removal of the outliers, and other data wrangling operations. Before the actual development starts, the data is partitioned into training and test sets, generally in the ratio of 80-20 or 70-30. Training data is used for model development, and test data is used for cross-validation of the results. Post this, the actual model development starts as per the problem type defined, where it can be either a regression or a classification problem. These two types are categorized under the umbrella of supervised machine learning, which Nishit had explained earlier as well. The main difference between them is that the output variable in case of regression is numerical. In case of classification problem, it's categorical. Let us understand this with the help of an example. Like predicting whether Donald Trump will win the next US presidential election is a classification problem. And predicting by how many votes he'll win or lose, it's a regression problem. Before we go ahead, it's a famous saying by Peter Drucker, a senior Harvard professor, that if you cannot measure it, you cannot improve it. Similarly, our next step is evaluation and execution, which is actually a very crucial step where the results generated from the training data are cross-validated with the test data as per the evaluation matrices. The evaluation parameters vary for classification and regression problems. Like classification prediction can be evaluated using accuracy, precision, F1 score, AUC, and ROC curves. On the other hand, regression predictions can be evaluated using RMSE, MAPE values, MSE, and R-square. Post cross-validation, hyperparameter tuning is done in order to fine-tune the results to reduce the errors and so that the model provides the desired outcomes. Then the model is deployed and hosted. Based on the requirement, the model can either be published using REST APIs, which is actually done using Flask framework, or can be used as an exe file on the cloud or server. Now, let's look at the steps involved in preparing a machine learning model with the help of an example. As we are all dealing with pandemic COVID-19 situation, let's take a look at how we can use machine learning model to analyze data and prepare ourselves better. First of all, problem statement is to identify risk of infections, effective diagnosis of suspects, and speedy vaccine development. Second step would be to collect information from all possible sources, like patient with pre-existing medical conditions, age history, various medical researches, pre-existing vaccines, and test results. Third step would be to refine, clean, impute, or remove the missing data on the mandatory features required for the analysis. Once the data is prepared, model development can start based on the most fitted algorithm, which in our case can be a k-means clustering for classifying the patients on the basis of risk factors and their impacts. Also, highly efficient algorithms like linear regression and random forest can also be used for predicting the number of COVID patients for a longer period of time in a specific region. Post continuous evaluation and training, model can then be deployed, monitored, and continuously improved till the model generates the desired results. Reports can further be analyzed to understand results better through visualization tool with the help of smart dashboards and drill down functionalities. Now, let's look at how Q3 is unique and why we are the champions. We provide smart and robust solutions, including end-to-end integration support for applications to our customers. We provide a scalable architecture with flexible solutions catering to growing and dynamic market requirements. We are also constantly updating ourselves as per the needs of the customers, switching in machine learning algorithms for analytical needs. We have expertise on wide variety of tools like Anaconda, RStudio, RapidMiner, Amazon SageMaker, you name it. We have expert team of data scientists, subject matter experts, and specialists who have delivered solutions on different platforms and technologies, which makes us unique. We have also provided Periscope products to clients, which are industry-specific plug-and-play analytical solutions for faster turnaround time. Also, we have expertise in advanced analytics technologies like augmented reality, virtual reality, computer vision, pattern recognition, market basket analysis, recommendation engines, and a lot more. We'll talk about them in more detail once we take the case studies in further slides.
And to add to what Akash just said, Q3's entire focus has been on the custom solution development, with each solution tailor-made for a particular business requirement or solving a specific business challenge. And that is why we choose the best tool or technology to the specific requirement. And whatever solutions we develop, the intellectual property rights of that solution belongs to the customer, including the source code. So this business model gives Q3 quite a uniqueness and an edge over most of our competitors in the industry.
Thanks, Akash, for sharing these best practices. Now, with this, we have reached the exciting phase of this webinar. I would request all the attendees to kindly put yourself on mute, please. Thank you. So now we have reached to the real crux, that how we are converging towards industry-leading implementations of machine learning. Now the whole team is here to share some of the most unique and exciting use cases and the business scenarios where we have actually helped our visionary customers to implement the machine learning in the most efficient and result-oriented manner. Over to you guys.
So, in most of the cases, as probably you know, AI/ML works as a complementary technology to the other technologies. For example, IoT or chatbots or AR/VR. Our expertise in all these areas of digital transformation actually enable us to create the best suited technological solution for a requirement. Over the past several years, Q3 has worked with customers across multiple industries and on a variety of use cases in the AI/ML domain. We have developed solutions in the industries like oil, power and gas, telecom, real estate, manufacturing, BFSI, retail, healthcare, and many others. For these industries and clients, we have developed AI/ML backed solutions in use cases like demand forecasting, predictions, prescriptions, customer segmentation, sentiment analysis, predictive maintenance, facial recognition, and so on and so forth. Now, we are going to talk some of the real AI ML based solutions that we have developed. Here we are actually covering them briefly. But if you have any kind of queries or want more details, please reach out to us and we can provide you more details.
We have designed, developed, and deployed robust analytical solutions across different industry verticals, which were deep rooted in artificial intelligence and machine learning. So, this solution we have developed for one of the world's largest telecom OEM. So, let's understand the business problem first. So, the client manufactures the printed circuit boards through surface mount technology by embedding the microchips on it. An automated pick and drop machine places the microchips on boards with a defect rate of 8 to 9 defects per million, which means machine wrongly put microchips 8 to 9 times on board. That incurred the losses to the company due to defected PCBs. Because if the microchips are wrongly placed on those boards were useless. That was of no use. So the management or the leadership wanted some kind of advanced analytical solutions which can optimize the efficiency of these pick and drop machines. So we uh, we have built a robust predictive analytics solutions based on the data that we have collected from the sensors, the data we have captured from the video cameras itself, and placed on the cloud server to further analyze in a database. So we have captured other variables like what is the placement time of the machine, what is the operating parameters, what are the panel informations, what the error and the event data that we have captured at a 15-minute time interval. We have stored all these databases in a data lake to further analyze, to build a predictive model so that we can classify or predict the exact position of the microchips on board. And successfully we have achieved we not only optimize the efficiency of that pick and drop machine, but reducing the defect rate to a tune of more than 50%. So we have collected all the data from different channels as well, versus we have created a database to there. Then we have used the machine learning algorithm to identify the error rate and their occurrence. The client gets benefits from this solution with low error rates, with a higher accuracy and data, and the cost reduction by approximately of 15% in that. So now let's move on to the another successfully delivered solutions which we have delivered for one of the biggest multinational power sector company. This solution we have designed this predictive solution we have designed for the power sector company. Let's understand the business problem first. So the client used the overhead conveyors to transport coal from mining area to production area for thermal power production on this conveyor belt. So this conveyor belt is approximately 15 to 20 kilometer long and runs 24 into 7, so that the thermal power plant should require the continuous supply of the coal. Client wanted some kind of predictive and prescriptive system to continuously monitor the conveyor belt so that the supply shouldn't stop either through the breakage of the conveyor belt or through some other faults. So they wanted a solution which predict the most prone part of the belt so that in advance maintenance can be done through different sources. So to build that solution, we have captured the data that from the acoustic and vibration sensors which were mounted on the conveyor belts as well as the players. So we have captured the information or the data from the acoustic and vibration sensors, the frequency of vibration sensors versus the audio frequency sensors from the acoustic sensors, and stored the sensor data which received in 10 minutes interval. So it is like a real time data that we are getting to predict the most prone part of the conveyor belt. We have stored all the database into a cloud server of AWS, that is Amazon Web Services, to handle the streaming data and providing them the real-time analytics. We have developed the front-end applications in terms of dashboards to showcase what are the gaps, sending notifications, machine learning. We have developed the solution for predictive maintenance. So the benefits that client gets from this solution is secure and easily data transfer, enhance the accuracy in the data, and we have developed a solution that is automated and lower human resources required. This is which is minimum human intervention is required in this solution. So for the further case studies, my colleague will take you further.
So let's talk about the next business problem. This was done for a big FMEG client dealing with home and kitchen appliances. FMEG here refers to fast moving electrical goods. The client has a huge network of retail stores and large fleet on street, which takes care of products right from putting them on shelves to door services. The problem statement here is that their sales and logistics teams prepared the plan for their employees manually. This plan was not much efficient as it was not capturing all the insights and granular level details as well, and hence the adoption rate was lower. We helped our client in providing a prescriptive and predictive monthly journey plan on the basis of the historical visits of their employees at different levels. This journey plan was providing best optimal route and made sure that the fleet on street is covering all the allocated areas provided to them. The most important features considered in the model are age group, location details, visited day, visited week, and other external parameters like weather and geographical data. An interesting insight generated from the model, which I would like to share with you all, is that one of the employees who used to work majorly in Delhi used to visit his family in Mathura every alternate weekend. The employee was also provided Mathura location by the sales team in his work allocation plan, but he never covered it as per the scheduled day in the planner. He used to cover it as per his convenience whenever he is returning to home, and sometimes missed it as well. This insight was beautifully captured by the model, and he was allocated to cover this location every alternate Friday when he is going back to home. This is one of the perfect examples where human behavior was captured, which any other manual techniques failed. This helped the leadership team to prepare and share efficient journey plans for their employees, which in turn reduced time, manual efforts, and increased adoption rate. XGBoost, which is a scalable and accurate implementation of the gradient boosting machine, delivered the desired outcome. This solution was developed using RStudio, and visualization and insights from the model were developed using RShiny dashboards. Next project is done for a fast-growing Italian dairy firm. The FDA terms and regulations in Europe are overly strict and requires constant monitoring and checks of the dairy farms and their livestock. Any failure in doing so results in severe penalties and even shutting of the farms. Hence, the farm owner firms have to be extra cautious as per the FDA rules. The problem statement here was that the client had to continuously monitor the livestock activities manually, like proper feeding, mounting, and movement of the cattle, and hence had extra caretakers too, and had to do the manual diagnostic again. They were looking for a solution where real-time tracking of the livestock activities, proper care, and diagnostic to the cattle can be done accordingly. We provided and developed solution to the client by using some of the state-of-the-art technologies like computer vision, advanced TensorFlow techniques, where real-time notifications are sent regarding the cattle mounting pattern and other livestock activities after analyzing each and every cattle individually. First step here is to consume live feeds from the set of cameras installed in the barn area, which was done using FMMPEG protocol. Then the removal of the fisheye effect was done in order to get the straighten images. Second step is to do the cattle recognition. Cattle are decorated with Oracle code tagged on the upper neck portions and cameras installed in the barn to recognize these codes using OpenCV libraries. This uniquely identifies the cattle in the barn. Advanced TensorFlow object detection APIs are then used to detect mounting and other cattle activities using SSD mobile net model, which is based on neural networks. Post this, ID generated from cattle recognition step are mapped with cattle identified involving the activities like mounting. Alert notifications and reports are sent regarding the cattle involved in the heat period so that special diagnostic and health checks can be provided to them. This helped client to easily track cattle movement and providing special care to the cattle in the heat period. We used TensorFlow, Python, and OpenCV libraries along with Spark and Kafka for the same. Next solution is for a French multinational tire manufacturing having presence all around the globe. The client has a huge network of hubs and distribution centers. Currently, the daily stock deployment plan was done manually and shared across to all logistics heads. The client was looking for a solution which will help them to forecast near accurate deployment of inventory from hubs to different distribution centers. This would greatly help them to optimize their supply chain problem and reducing efforts in preparing daily deployment plan, which was done initially manually. The first step here is to collect data, which in our case is structured and is ingested from multiple legacy sources like SQL Server, Oracle, MySQL, and Excel files. As machine learning model requires clean and stitched data, a SQL Server data warehouse is prepared where data is ingested, cleansed, and transformation are done using ETL scripts. Post this model development, which provided daily supply forecast of inventory from different hubs to different distribution centers on the basis of multiple factors like warranty registration, DC stocks, rim size, channel stocks, and tire types. Machine learning also helped in finding seasonality curves and peaks during festive season, lag in supply demand, and catching incentive registration period, where dealers register maximum inventory to achieve their target, and due to external factors like weather conditions, on the basis of which the truck utilization trigger, stock adjusted trigger, and daily plan for inventory is prepared by the logistic team. The best results were generated using some of the advanced gradient boosting algorithms like XGBoost and LGBM. The results were further analyzed using Power BI in the form of dashboards for high-level KPIs and reconciliation purpose by management.
Thanks, team, for sharing these real-time implementations. Dear all, as Varun iterated initially, at Q3 we have done implementations across the globe, covering the whole gamut of the verticals for machine learning. But due to the interest of time, we have tried to showcase a few of the industry leading and innovative success stories. But definitely, of course, based on your demand, and if you want to know more, we can share more details, more success stories with you. Now, here I open up the floor for your queries and suggestions. You can kindly unmute yourself before asking your questions so that we can hear you. You can please unmute yourself before asking. You can also put your.
Hi, everybody. Uh, I would really like to thank you for the exciting session that the team gave up. Right. Uh, Coming to my question, since I was listening to the session, and as we all know, we are talking about machine learning here. So data is of prime importance about machine learning, and when the data is not so sensitive, so it is quite comfortable to share. But at times, the data that we share is highly confidential and sensitive. So my question here would be, how do you ensure data security in ML implementation?
Okay. So in fact, that's a very good question from you. I'd like to say that these things are generally handled during the discovery phase, where while designing the architectures, we take these security concerns. So due to data confidentiality of data, so separate client machines can be provided where the data can be kept, and the model or the application development can be done on that specific machines. Also, another way could be like redaction of the data, where the categorical data is um, mapped, and dummy names can be given, just like uh, customer 123 can be appended, so that sensitive data is not revealed.
Okay.
And to add to what Akash just said, while designing our solutions, we ensure full compliance with all the regulatory things, including GDPR, so which takes care of the privacy and security of the data that remains intact.
Okay. Okay. That's great. Thank you. You have answered the question. Thank
Hi everyone, Pooja here. Thank you for such an informative session today. I have a question about the historical data. Like how much data we should consider for creating a model?
Okay, so just to answer your question, so I would like to reiterate to the point where Ankur had talked about volume, variety, and velocity of the
Yeah,
data.
yeah, right.
So for a near accurate machine learning model development, you need large amount of data. Since machine learning is based on catching the trends from the historical data, it all depends at what granular level you are predicting or forecasting the things. Therefore, historical data should be collected at that much specific granular level. The more data you get, the more accurate and desired result you'll get in the end.
Okay,
Right,
right.
and again to add here, as Akash rightly said, the more data you have, the more accurate the results are. And machine learning is the name itself says it's learning. So we keep on tweaking the data, we keep on enhancing the model to improve the accuracy level. And in some time, I mean that depends on case to case basis, but the model improves over time and gives more and more accurate results.
Cool, that's perfect. Thank you.
You can please unmute yourself while asking. And also, if you want, you can write your queries to the chat window. Okay, so I think we have reached to the end of this webinar.
Hey, hi,
Yeah,
Amit,
please.
Amit,
Yes.
I have a question. Can you go to the previous slide where the solutions and problems are mentioned?
Which solution problem you are referring, please?
Uh, uh, anyone which you have discussed.
Okay. You want the case study one? You want the case study one?
Yeah, Naresh, what's your question? Naresh, your voice is breaking.
Naresh, if you want, you can type your question on the chat window also. We are not able to hear you.
Uh, yes. Uh, is it fine now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes, Naresh, it's
Is
fine.
it fine?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. In my question is in the area of benefit. Is it possible that while if the client has switched from their manual problem to the machine learning problem, how much the monetary saving they have achieved while shifting? So is it possible? Is it client share some this financial details as well?
So,
Is it possible that we
Naresh,
can also document that part? Yeah, yeah.
to answer that question, yes, there are ways we do try to calculate that. It requires some ROI
Okay.
calculation basis on that, because every business problem, the budget or the investment which comes from the client, it comes with the big basis that there is an ROI which is going to be generated with this solution. So
Yeah.
yes,
Okay.
on various parameters. I mean,
Okay.
there is no one specific technique, but we do that. In fact, that we do that as part of our business benefits to the client also. So does that answer your question?
Okay. Great. Great. Great.
Yeah, hello.
Thank you.
Yes, please.
Hello,
Yes.
Amit, I'm speaking Ram.
Yeah, hi Ram, please.
Yeah, I'm having a question. I'm also from ML team.
Yeah, please tell me.
Yeah, when we are providing a confidentiality and security to the data, so we are implementing encryption techniques also, like a protocols, encryption protocols. And which kind of protocols we can provide for a data security, high level security?
So Ram, just to answer your question, so these the protocols can be there are a couple of protocols which are available and like can be readily usable as well, and there are custom like encryption techniques which can be generated. Like I said, like the masking of the data can be done. It's a kind of encryption only, where it's difficult to decrypt the data since we have already masked it and there is no trail of existing data. But yeah, just to answer your question, there are different techniques of doing it. Some algorithms and some techniques are there where you can do the encryption with the help of tools, with the help of coding, and there are customized solution to this problem as well.
Yeah.
Ram, if you would like to know more details, please reach out to us and then we can share more details also to you.
Okay.
Do we have more queries here?
Yeah, no, sir, I'm clear.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So I think with this, we have reached to the end of this webinar where me, Amit, along with all the team of Q3, would like to extend a big thank to all of you for joining us. I'm sure you must have found this exciting and knowledge oriented. We at Q3s would be more than happy to share our experience and expertise in more detailed manner in case you, your friends, your colleagues are planning to implement machine learning or framing any implementation strategy for that.
Amit, we have one question from Mohit in
Yeah,
the chat
please.
window.
Yeah, please.
In the chat window, it's there.
Yeah.
So I have got a question that I want to know, how do we categorize database into testing and training data, as in ratio of 70-30 or 80-20?
And let me take that. So it all depends upon the how the data is actually uh, distributed. The distribution data is very important. If we are able to cater the 70% in the 70% itself, we are able to cater the whole distribution of the data, or we are able to capture the every data points or the variety of the diversity of the data, then we can go for something like a 70-30 model. And if we are not able to, then we can probably increase that by 10%. It depends upon the problem statement actually. So that is something, also the domain knowledge, or with what kind of domain we are trying to do. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Does
that's
it
very
answer
case
your
to case
question?
basis.
And,
Yeah.
and sir, and based on data volume also we can divide a 70-30 and 80-20.
Something related to data, the volume of the data, the category of the data, and the domain of the data. So
So
all these factors will
yeah,
ultimately help us. Yeah.
so basically, a short answer is that those velocity, variety, those three parameters which Ankur and Akash spoke about, if we are able to capture that within the 70% of the data, we would do that, and if not, then we increase it by 10 more percent.
Thanks, Mohit. So you can reach out to me or Varun if you are having more queries. We'd be happy to share our expertise and experience on machine learning. A big thanks to all of you for joining us once again. Thank you very much.